What is going on, guys? Xtimus here. So today I'm going to be showing you guys basically a theory crafting build, and it's a bow Paladin Paladin. So this was created by the Death Clan, spelled D-E-T-H, and they definitely have a lot of really cool builds, and I've showcased a lot of them in my video, so I will leave a link in the description below. If you guys want to check out some of their builds, you can download them. And even though they're classic Diablo 2, you could still use it on D2R. So, and also I want to give a big shout out to OnGo. OnGo is a viewer of mine that noticed me in game in Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I really get noticed a lot. And he was just basically really nice, and he was like, well, what do you need? And like, what items do I need or whatever? And I'm like, I really don't need anything. I need Enigma. And so he just went ahead and gave me an Archon Plate Enigma, so I thought that was really cool. So big shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And if you guys want to check the description below for timestamps as well, you guys can see the items, skills, attributes, and everything like that. So let's just get into the video. So taking a look here at the build overview, so it's a Paladin using a bow, and this is why I really don't recommend the build, because the highest rune cost is 2 Jaws, 2 Lows, and Infinity. And as I said before, it's just, you know, this is what I'm passionate about with Diablo 2, and I love to see the possibilities and everything like that. So if you really have a bunch of high runes laying around, or you're like me and you just mess around with builds on single player, this is definitely a build that just kind of shows the possibilities in the game, and it's really cool to just explore what the game has to offer. And it absolutely destroys players 8, so you're just going to be plowing through monsters. It has really fast clear speed. However, you're not going to be navigating through the world very quickly. He's not using Enigma or teleporting or anything like that, so, and his run walk speed is very slow, and he has 2 bows on switch, so you're just going to be switching between your auras and switching between the 2 bows. So definitely a very unique aspect to the build there. And it has elemental damage focus, so this is like adds 1 to 100 fire damage as an example on like a small charm or like a weapon or anything like that. Is really going to boost the damage a lot. And it has 4,000 to 6,000 fire damage. Really doesn't seem like much, but when you're adding in the negative resistances that you're giving out to monsters with the Infinity and everything like that, it really does a lot of damage. And he has some piercing attack there and an amplified damage curse as well. All right, so taking a look at this bow paladin here, I've done a bow paladin before that was kind of mixed up with Fist of Heavens and things like that, and I tried it and it didn't work out too well. So this is a very expensive build, really effective though, and it's just kind of like one of those really unique builds, and this is like really where a lot of my passion for Diablo 2 comes in. I test hundreds of builds all the time, so it's just one of my favorite things to do in Diablo 2 is just kind of come up with some new builds. But this isn't my build though, so I'm just going to start off with the itemization here. So we're using 2 bows, so you're going to be using Holy Fire with Brand, which shoots out fire arrows and things like that. And then when you switch over, you're going to be using Holy Freeze, and you're going to use Ice. So it's kind of like a hybrid elemental aura bow paladin. So we're definitely using Brand. You know, all around really good. It's got amplified damage. The fire explosive arrows or bolts is what's really going to do a lot of damage. And then for the armor, I'm using Spirit Forge. They probably chose this because it has 2 sockets and it has added fire damage on the armor. So any elemental damage, like you can see the fire damage on this charm, is really going to be doing a lot of damage, specifically because you're using conviction and things like that. So a lot of people don't know that like elemental charms are actually really effective for builds like this, or something like a Vengeance Paladin, or just any build that's using conviction and kind of doing melee damage. Though that damage really adds up to a lot. So probably not going to find charms like this too often. I mean, if you pick up charms a lot, you're going to run into something. I would probably prefer lightning charms because a lot of monsters don't have very high lightning resistance, and lightning does more damage. Lightning damage charms would be really good. So that's kind of like one of the ideas of the itemization in this build, is to just try to get that elemental damage, so that's pretty much why they chose Spirit Forge. And then I'm using this helmet right here with 3 fire jewels in it, and I did try to use the one rune word, I forget the new rune word, whatever it is, with the fire skills. This definitely did more damage than that, so yeah, so that's probably like one of the best in slots for this build. And then I'm using the Rising Sun, so the fire skills are going to help out the fire explosive arrows or bolts, and then you can see on the left here, you can kind of see the damage go up, not by much, but you know, as you can see on the amulet, it still has added fire damage on there, so it's definitely going to help. And then same thing with the Infernostride boots, you know, it has added fire damage. And then they chose Carrion Wind and a Ravenfrost, and for the belt they're using Razortail. This is probably for the piercing attack, so the arrows can kind of shoot through monsters and not just stop at one. And for the gloves, they're using Lava Gout, and again, it has extra fire damage there, and you know, chance to cast a level 10 enchant on striking, which is going to increase some damage and give you some extra attack rating as well. And then on switch, I have an ice, so that's going to be to use the Holy Freeze aura there. And then for the charms, like I said, I mean, elemental charms are really good on builds like this. You're probably not going to find something like this with added fire damage and all resistances. It's pretty interesting and quite a rare find. And obviously using an Anni and a torch, and I have the brand new fire and cold Sunders there. And the cold Sunders, or just the Sunders in general, kind of give a lot of possibilities for new builds, specifically hybrid builds, so you can kind of, you know, combine the damage together. I should probably have a physical Sunder on there as well, but the damage is already pretty good. Yeah, I would probably throw a physical Sunder in there as well. And for the Mercenary, I'm using, or they're using, the clan that made the build, they're using Infinity, Shaftstop, and Vampire Gaze. They're really into Vampire Gaze and Shaftstop most of their builds, probably because of the reduced physical damage going there. So definitely good choices for the Mercenary. I mean, there's so many different choices for armor and a helmet for a Mercenary. It's just, you know, that could be like a whole dedicated video there. And then for the skill tree, we're putting 20 points into Holy Fire and Holy Freeze, and then 20 points into their synergies, Resist Fire, Resist Cold, and Salvation. And surprisingly, combat skills, none. And for the attributes, you know, pretty basic here. Enough points probably into strength and dexterity to use your gear, and then enough into vitality, or the rest of your points into vitality and energy, none. It does kind of look like they put some extra points there into dexterity, since he really does have a lot. So not quite too sure on like the exact amount of dexterity or anything that they put into the character. So yeah, and basically it's quite easy to play. You just have your normal attack on your left, and then the Holy Fire and Holy Freeze auras, and you have them set on switch. So if there's something that's immune to cold damage, you know, I could probably maybe break the cold resistance with the cold Sunder. I haven't really tested that too much personally. Basically, so I mean, if you run into monsters that have high cold resistance, you know, you're just gonna switch over to Holy Fire, and all you gotta do is hit W and it'll switch you right over. So we're going to be doing players 8 gameplay. So let's just get into some gameplay here, guys. Oh, and then my Mercenary was over here starting shit and killing everything. And it's a very squishy build, so you're definitely gonna die pretty easily if you don't stay back. And not only that, I mean, you can't really navigate through the world very quickly. So unless you have like Enigma or something on switch. And yeah, as you can see, I mean, with the Holy Fire and the brand, the damage is pretty high there. And basically, you know, for the most part, he just pretty much destroys everything. I know skeletons are pretty low health monsters. Still really good, you know. And then we could even switch over to ice and see how well that does. Oh yeah, and then we can go over and do a quick shank run and just see how that goes as well. Just to give you guys like a general idea of what the damage is like. And one thing I really wish they would just give you infinite arrows. That would be really nice. Probably won't happen though. Diablo 2 is pretty much like... Diablo 2 is an unfinished game. And it's been an unfinished game forever. Probably will always be unfinished. But that's okay, because we love it. Trying to get my mercenary over here. And yeah, there he goes, dude. So as you guys can see, I mean, the damage is pretty nice. And I think it's a very, very interesting build. Probably one of the most interesting builds I've ever seen playing Diablo 2. So, you know, definitely really cool. And I love playing builds like this, so... But that's about it for the video, guys. So make sure you subscribe if you guys are into Diablo 2 content. I've been playing Diablo 2 for 20 years, and it's just, I have a million Diablo 2 videos I can make. So, you know, if you guys are into Diablo 2 stuff, you know, definitely subscribe. And big shout out to Ongo again for the Enigma. And I hope all of you guys are doing well. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So just let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about the video. If you guys want more theory crafting builds like this, I mean, I have probably like 100 more of them. So love you guys, and thanks for watching. So